Good morning, friends and colleagues. Welcome to our plenary session with the presence of Mr. Júlio Costa, representing the Executive Board of the ABTCP, the Brazilian Association of Technicians of Pulp and Paper sector. Mr. Júlio Costa is a forest engineer. I would better say was once a forest engineer because he has gone throughout all steps of the sector and our industry. He has got an MSc in pulp and paper, an MBA, but above all has got a lot of experience in the activities and in all steps of the sector, from pulp and paper, coating, minerals, fillers, micro and nano fibrillated cellulose and applications. So he is representing here the ABTCP. Is nowadays is the managing director of a consulting firm, the WebTech Pulp and Paper Technologies. Júlio Costa will give us a presentation on how the Brazilian pulp and paper industry is addressing today's demands and challenges.
At the ABTCP, we are one technical association with 120 companies associated, plus 600 professionals in now covering our Brazil territory. And our mission is very close to what was explained yesterday about the Tecnicelpa, what is congregate the people, ideas, and the cooperation in between everybody. We have the values of the spirit of association, as we said, cooperation, knowledge, ethics, integrity. What means we believe this relationship is what make our sector great and also bring the high value. Our governance is made by our General Assembly, done once a year, and twice we have a year we have a board of directors meeting who supports all the operations, and the executive council is also have a meeting each 2 months in order to have to monitoring the executive team and his performance. This executive council, they have 24 members, 2 from universities and research institutes, 2 individual associates, and all of pulp and paper producers with 12 members, and also 8 suppliers for this team. We have the technical commissions with the automation, maintenance, biorefinery and nanotechnology, cellulose, environmental, paper, recover and energy, occupational safety, and digital transformation. We have one annual international event with the exhibition. The exhibition is each 2 years, and our Congress is annual. And these events, they have the gala dinner and also one prize for 21 categories of professionals and companies, and as well the aperture solemnity. About the publications, we have O Papel, our magazine, very known in Brazil, I believe here in Portugal also. We have one annual publication about suppliers and services, what is a reference of the sector for who are finding services and products. We have lots of networks inside the paper magazine, as well our applications in the internet, and our monthly podcast with lots of issues regarding pulp and paper sector. And we were talking about the Brazil and this planted tree sector. When they say planted tree sectors, we're involving also the trees for other applications. In this case, this slide shows us our energy usage is 88% renewable, basically from biomass and black liquor. And we have invested in this 5 years, 2003-2008, around 54 billion reais, around $1 billion, $10 billion, sorry. And we have more than 5,000 bioproducts originated from this industry, with 67% of the paper recycled in Brazil. It's a very high index, with 2.8 million people employed, and more than 8,000 species conserved. About forests. We have data from 2001 to 2001. We have 7.5 million hectares of eucalyptus, 2001, plus 1.9 million hectares of pine, and 0.47 million hectares of other trees. This is spread through all Brazilian territory, as you could see, mainly in south, southeast, and central-west, also some northeast area. What you could see, the concentration of eucalyptus, pine more south of Brazil because the climatic conditions we have in the south of Brazil. Just for reference, state of São Paulo is under the tropical, Capricornian tropical area line. Okay. And we could see the distribution a little bit better in this slide. When we have the Minas Gerais state, where they have the siderurgy and also pulp and paper production. The steel industry there is very big, and they are the most of the eucalyptus plantations in Brazil. Then we have other states together, then Mato Grosso do Sul and São Paulo. This is the bigger plantations we have of eucalyptus in Brazil. Pine. We have Paraná, Santa Catarina, and Rio Grande do Sul, the three south region states in Brazil, because, again, about the climate conditions. And interesting, because our packaging industry is more concentrated in this region as well, what help us to understand why. The productivity of eucalyptus is very interesting there. We have around 75% of the area with eucalyptus, 19% of planted trees area with pine. It's a very expressive, these two species for our industry, and it's based on the professional training, investment in technology, in the control of disease and pests, soil fertilization, and natural conditions. Brazil have a huge amount of areas, and we could take advantage of that. And just to observe, in 1917, we have 10 cubic meters per hectare per year of productivity, and nowadays, from 10, we have 38 cubic meter per hectare per year. And productivity of pine is 29. It's a really remarkable index of productivity. The evolution of this in the last years, mainly looking for climate changes, we could see we have some impacts, but we're still growing in productivity. This is from 35 to 38 for eucalyptus, and 31 to 29 to pine. It's a little bit, we have some fluctuations here, but there's still high productivity. And the conserved areas in planted trees sector is around 6.5 million hectares. And this is a huge amount, and is very important for forestry with the protection with the rich diversity. It's important because this generates value for our sector. We have a genetical potential, but as well product extraction potential on that areas. We have a very rare and endangered ecosystem to protect. And some areas also is preserved to meet the demands of the communities. We have old communities, indigenous and quilombos there where we need to protect, and this is done, generating value for the area, and critical areas with traditional cultures. The conserved areas, we could see here, we have some swing year by year because we change from one classification to another, but basically the total is growing because our frontiers of plantations is growing, and we do this combined. We preserve and plant in the same proportion. And we talk now about cellulose. The Brazilian production is around this year was in the all short, long, and high yield pulp is 25 million tons in 2002. This was a spoiler I picked up last week because this is not really well explained here. It's from the IBA 2002 report, what will be launched this week, but we are ready in this way. In terms of world, we are the second one after US with this amount, and it's very interesting. We keep growing because the demand for mainly eucalyptus pulp around the world is growing. Yeah, the destination of the pulp is in 2002 we exported 19 million tons of eucalyptus. Now we talk about paper. We also produce paper, not that much as eucalyptus, but in 2002 was about 11 million tons. And this is the total production, obviously. And we could see here the distribution. Printing right is a very small amount, but we have also the packaging, sanitary napkins, and also cardboard and tissue and others. And you could see here the distribution in tons and the annual variation. The printing right is still growing, but it's because the trade-off around the world. As you know, we have a lot of integrated mills in Brazil, what make our paper very competitive doing there. We obviously facing taxation problem in Brazil. We are reviewing really the situation right now. We are in the program to change the taxation. It's nowadays it's very difficult to understand, including the taxation system. It's to be simplified, and this could help us to export even more. The destination of the Brazilian production was 8.6 to Brazil, and 2.1 to export, this proportion. And the total export in 2002 was 2.5 million. From that report will be released this week. Also, Brazil is even so in the 10 top producers of paper in the world. even with our taxation problem we have. Now we will talk about ESG. From forest, we start with environmental, what is more important thing for us. And we have a lot of products for packaging, tissues, paper, laminate fluorine, furniture, drug capsules, nanocellulose, plus then 5,000 bioproducts. It's very interesting to say our association, they are looking for pulp and paper, and we have one sister association with the EPF, which work exactly with wood. And together we share information, but we serving basically the industrial phase of the production for pulp and paper for now. We're not going for other markets like furniture, timber yet, as TAPI, for example, do. And we're more focused yet in pulp and paper and pulp derivatives. In bioenergetics, we are 88% bio-based with the charcoal, black liquor pellets, briquettes, chips, forestry residues, and advanced biofuels with the torrefied biomass. This is a very interesting also. We are making some transition from diesel model for our forestry, for biodiesel, and also other methanol and others possibilities to be more friendly with the environment. And from IBA, we bring this slide. For each 1,000 hectares planted, we have 600 side of this. Total of 100, don't take me wrong, it's just 38% of the total area. It's not 6%. But even so, it's a very, very large amount. You could see this, and a very regular plantation is eucalyptus in this case. And that area you saw in between the water and the eucalyptus is a very important protection area. This is we say is a mosaic of a forest. Why this help us? Because this is a permanent material. The soil never will be nude. The forest, each 7 years, 5 years in Brazil, we cut everything, but these other areas still protected. It's make it with the infiltration of water, the permeation of the soil will be maintained, and also the biodiversity of animals and other plants will remain there. And because we say mosaic, because all these areas are interlinked and making a real corridor when the animals and they could exchange genetic material, and they could flow all time for this. And you know, eucalyptus demand lots of water, and this is an excellent way to maintain the water production in the soil. And this is one, the sector is proud to have this model installed in Brazil, and it's sustainable, and really we protect the environment with this technique. And this is important to say, all pulp and paper sector have this standard. Now, this conserved area for 2002 was 6.7 million hectares, because we are expanding our forest base, and this is important to say, we're not going for Amazonian biome. We are really still exploring areas in south, southwest, northeast areas without anything. They was devastated a long time ago, and for coffee, for soybeans, for many things, different cultures. And when this soil is exhausted, they leave this soil there. And obviously, the companies who want to plant pine eucalyptus, for example, could take these areas. Then with our techniques, we implant new forests, okay? And we have an area for expanding without making any pressure over the natural system that we already have. This is a very nice case, and we are taking the companies in Brazil is trying to capitalize everything, including the ambiental services we already are providing with water production, with species protection, and so on. We have the stock of carbon, around 4.5 billion tons of CO2 equivalent. This account is 1.7 billion hectares of planted trees, plus 6.7 billion in the 6 million hectares of natural forests. It's a very impressive numbers as well. And this is a discussion in how we have this as a credit, but is still a very healthy discussion, because we have one big opportunity here to capture CO2 and bring this in products in these 4 vectors. And we used to say this first 2 vectors is the removal and the stock carbon through the real plantations we have, like eucalyptus and pine. And the second vector is a removal of this from restoration areas. What this means? When I said, when you have devastated areas in account and we implement our new system with the mosaic system, we start also to recover that degraded area of a natural forest. And when we establish that, we are capturing carbon until the climax, and this will be stable, but this amount will be captured. And it's not a small amount, it's a big amount. And the vector 1 plus vector 2 is about the same, but from different activities. Vector 3 is the reduction of the emissions from making products to change fossil-based products, okay? This is very interesting also, because we could make this change. And for a long-term storage as well, like we have in sheets, panels, furniture, etc. This is, we have the cycles of eucalyptus, and when we have all the cycles, we go up and down and cut the forest up and down. This is the stock we have in the forest. And then, when you take all of this in account, we have this kind of figure with the years. And the average stock of carbon, we intend to be a very high level. This is how the inventory is done there. About the biodiversity is our second important point, is 8,300 species, is from flora, fauna, and bioindicators was 26. It's very important to have this under control. 21 species here, and also 2 species of birds was classified as extinct, but not really. And we could recover this with this mosaic system we implanted. We could identify, and it's a very, very interesting, very important for us to have this, and as a bioindicator, and including birds and everything. About social, we have a good practice with this generating values for our society. With we have 500,000 direct jobs plus 1.5 million indirect jobs. This is really related with the pulp and paper industry. But we have 800 industrial jobs with 2 million farmers benefit from the development programs. As you know, we foment a lot of producers, independent producers of wood, and this is important for the sector as well. This total of 2.8 million jobs was generated in 2020 with 122 billion reais in income. We have some impact initiatives with the companies like Silvamo, Suzano, Eldorado, Cenibra, Norflor, Westrock, Melhoramentos. What means these companies, they have, for example, the Pinhão project is to Araucaria, pine tree. We pick this, the seeds, this is used for food, and this is fomented for how to do this safety because it's very tall trees, and the risk is very high for the people doing this job in the communities, and the companies help these guys and and also to harvest the seeds, but also to prepare the seeds for the market. And we have also the Mogi Guaçu, the roots forestation for some areas in the rural area. It's not a forest plantation, but we incentivize people to have the natural forest regeneration, and the Silvamo for supply the seeds and everything required to recompose that material. The governance, we have in terms of investments, 61 billion reais, around more than $10 billion until 28. We could see here pulp and paper. We have Paraná, São Paulo. We have Klabin Investments for in Paraná State for cellulose and paper, but in Klabin, São Paulo for paper, recycled paper, CMC in the Rio Grande do Sul State, Carta Fabril tissue paper in Rio de Janeiro, Suzano will be cellulose in Mato Grosso do Sul, Bracell in São Paulo with paper, Suzano and Espírito Santo State with paper, also in this case tissue, Papyrus cardboard in the São Paulo State, Irani in Santa Catarina State for packaging, Arauco in Mato Grosso do Sul for cellulose. This is a big project. And the wood panels is not our area, but just to have us informed us have billion reais. And these mills have this distribution in Brazil. It's not like Amazon, we have just one mill, it's in Manaus, but they do recycled paper for Manaus, it's just that. And the concentration of the industry, you could see, is more south, sudest, and northeast areas. We have also our sectorial university. This is formed this year. It will be launched the next week in São Paulo during our annual Congress. It's an initiative of Exalc, is a school in São Paulo University. And Senai is the Brazilian National Service for teaching industrial practice. PSEG, what is a center of post-graduation in São Paulo University, Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, and Federal University of Viçosa. This sectorial university is obviously virtual, as you could see, because they congregate lots of well-established institutions, and is a way for our sector to organize the information in the training and all available capacities we have in the Brazil for the sector. We have a specific training for boiler operation, ESG trial, good work safety practice, MBA and masters, business school and leadership, community and languages, ABTCP safe. This is one interesting base because we have the annual shutdowns, and we have third parties to make the maintenance, and we have many different sites. And each site, the guys need to be about the same training program, and it is time-consuming, and is really repetitive because basically it's the same content. And ABTCP take the initiative to do one credential, and the companies in maintenance, the annual shutdowns, they go to ABTCP, make the training, and that credential gave him access for all the companies, and they save lots of money and time for everybody. Yeah. Also in this way, I don't mention yet, but we have an annual shutdown agreement when all companies sit together in ABTCP, normally in the Congress, and we establish a calendar of stoppers, and to not compete each other with the same resource, and they make the excellence and safety much more evident with this work. The training in packaging program also will be done for this sectorial university. Tissue training, and we have more to define in the coming years or months. Also, to finish, I wanted to show our international partnership with Tecnicelpa, our really sister association, because the language, because the eucalyptus, because we have many things together, and I believe with the synergy between ABTCP and Tecnicelpa is a must. We also have with PITA and other TAPI, ISO. We have a very active participation in ISO, in making the standards. We have teams inside ABTCP, all volunteers and doing the job. Myself, for example, helping the MFC team for methodology. And then we have all these associations like in Finland, OSEPA, in France we have ATP, APITA, and others, as you could see. Thank you very much. I'm here, my contact.
So thank you for your presentation. Let's get questions from the audience. Any question? Yes.
Hello, I'm Cristina Marques from Raiz. Thank you for your presentation. I was wondering if you have data, integrated data on the main challenges of the Brazilian forest, that the Brazilian forest is facing today.
If well understood, you ask the methodology used for the, I don't.
No, I was wondering if you have data on the main challenges of the Brazilian forestry. For example, pests and diseases, fire, what would be the main challenges that the forest is facing today?
Yeah, well, I don't have here, but for sure we have these statistics there. And this is a concern all the time, mainly because the climate changes. We could see record temperatures in Brazil nowadays. And we have also this hydric stress in the trees. We could see it's happened, but we have a big team working on this since, I believe, 5 years ago with French University. And they make the observatory towers. I believe you are familiar with that. And we could capture lots of information, see mainly the root penetration in the soil, and the attacks of transmission. One interesting thing I could say you in this study was we could observe, it's not concluded, but observation. The root system normally have the same volume or same weight as the log material. And you will say, the production you have down the soil is the same you have over. Yeah. And sometimes when you have distress, the root growing still basically the same, like a priority growing, but the log is not as big. It's a very interesting thing to see, and we take this in consideration during the genetical selection.
Yes, about time. Any more question? If not, I will address. We had yesterday a presentation on risks, and some of them are present everywhere in the world, are not specific of any particular region. But I've seen, for instance, the map of Brazil colored with a very nice color, light blue. But how you would comment the risks, if any, which are particular for your region? And another one, how is the relationship of the new political performers with the sector?
Very good. The risk we have there is more about, I believe, the properties in Brazil, because the legal activities is difficult, mainly for companies. They have the compliance and everything. You need to be very sure that the land have the right owner, and sometimes it's not possible, as you know. It's a big challenge in some cases, but we have a very well established condition in the southern states in Brazil, Mato Grosso do Sul. This is not a big issue in that areas, as we're looking for that, because we really have a chance to establish the very good. About our new government, our sector is don't have a party as need to be, and I could say I believe the economical and tax system nowadays it's going for better, independent of the party, and I believe in the future, in the near future, we will have a more stable conditions to work in blue sky or pink sky.
So if no more questions, we will thank you for your presentation. Thank you, Júlio.